Hey Hofstra fans, and welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. Mark Prusen joined as always by the head coach of the Hofstra volleyball team, Kristina Hernandez. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thanks for having me.
1-1 your first weekend through the CAA, a win over UNCW, and then a 5-set loss to the College of Charleston. Just sum up the weekend for us.
Overall, we did some good things and some things that we need to get better at. Wilmington, I felt like we were aggressive and strong pretty much, point for point, and we were making adjustments really quickly. Offensively, everybody was contributing, and that made things a little bit easier for us as well. Charleston was a tough match. I don't think either side was, I think it was more of a battle offensively than more of a defensive battle. So that brought out some things that we need to do better on the defensive side for us, and just a few plays that we could have done some better opportunities with. And so those were kind of the wrap-up.
4-set win against the Seahawks. It was Hofstra's 9th straight at home, and Emily Burke with a career-high 18 kills. How valuable is she to the Pride's offense?
It was really important. I think she had a great match in that game, and was swinging really aggressively and started off really strong, so it kind of set the tone for her for the rest of the match. Charleston, she got off to a pretty slow start, and it took her a while to get into it, and I think that just kind of showed that we do need her to be consistent through all those sets in order for us to be successful.
Let me ask you, how important was it to get win #1 in game #1 in conference play?
It was really big. It sets a good tone, but I also just wanted to see how we were going to come out and what our intensity was like, and make sure that we were being really aggressive with each point, because I think every match is going to be tough. Everybody wants the same thing in the end. So, but I was happy that we got that first win.
And then the College of Charleston comes in on Sunday with their reputation, preseason conference champions, and then the reputation they bring coming out of the SoCon. Did you prepare any differently for that match because they were a new opponent and with the reputation they brought in?
I think the only thing different is we weren't, usually, Wilmington had a lot of players that were from last year, so we knew a lot more tendencies of what they were going to do to us on the, what we need to do with our defense, because they tend to do the same kind of things. Charleston, a new opponent, we could see what we saw on film, but at the end of the day, we weren't sure what they were going to particularly do to us on defense at particular moments. So, but again, it's just making adjustments and adapting during a match that we need to do better with.
Now, a 5-set loss to the Cougars. What can you say overall about the performance of your team taking them to 5 sets?
It was good. I wanted us to, the sets that we did win, we were really great offensively, and I think we were in the high 300s for the sets that we did win. And then the ones we didn't, that we kind of let slip away, our passing was a little bit inconsistent, and there were some plays that we needed to do better with. So it's again, just making sure that we're consistent throughout the whole match, and really just taking care of what we're doing and staying in control of that, and instead of letting some easy points roll away.
Kelsey Wills had the match high in kills with 22, outshining Darcy Dorton for the Cougars, the preseason player of the year. Can you talk about that matchup and what you expected?
It was, the same. I don't think that they stopped her very much, and vice versa. I don't think we stopped her very much. They're great players, and they don't make a lot of unforced errors, and they do a lot of different things every time they swing. But we knew that coming into the match, and we were really just trying to manage the right side and the middles as best as possible, and we did a good job with kind of slowing down their middles a little bit, so we could kind of try to focus on the pins a little bit more. But they're both two great players that were just kind of going boom, 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 boom.
4 members on the Pride with double digits in kills: Kelsey Wills, Nuria Lopez de Silva, Ndama Asia, and Emily Burke. Can you talk about the importance of having that much depth on offense, and if that was the sole reason for being able to go 5 sets?
It was. We need to be able to have a lot of people scoring and spread out the offense. Adama and Nuria did some good things and kind of back and forth in different sets, whereas we want them to be able to contribute, in all sets throughout the match. But being able to spread out our offense and have a lot of people scoring and attacking is really important, and going to be important for us as we continue.
Do you think you're starting to see that consistency from the players in addition to Kelsey Wills on offense?
Yes. We want them to kind of start off a little bit smoother, or again, do it through every set and then not come in and out. And there are still some plays that we need to be better with on out of system and be more aggressive and not give free balls away. But things that we can, definitely kind of clean up this week and before we get ready for this weekend.
You will have a rematch with the Cougars later on in conference play. Do you know one thing in particular that Hofstra needs to do better?
Yes. There were a lot, like I said, there was a lot of easy balls, kind of some tips, some roll shots, and things that we had control over that we were just not ready and very disciplined with, and they were opportunities that we missed. And when you're playing a good team like that, those little things can add up very quickly, even though they're probably just 2 or 3 points in a match. It can make the difference, and when we're losing sets by 2 or 3 points, those are those 2 or 3 points where it could have kind of swayed that match a little bit.
Next on the docket in the conference, road trips to Towson and Delaware. Both will be rematches from last year's CAA tournament. Do you think from the Tigers' perspective, they're out for some sort of revenge?
It'll be interesting. There's really only 2 players from that past team, so it's a completely different look. They're doing a lot of different things. Their offense is different, so I don't know if those new players will have that revenge in them as some of those players from last year would have. So it's going to be a new matchup for us again, because we won't have seen very much of them from last year, and we'll have to kind of see what some of those new players do to us.
And for the Fightin' Blue Hens, they also have a reputation in this conference. They were the reigning conference champs when you took them down. So what do you expect to see from that matchup with Delaware?
That'll be a good game as well. It always is. Delaware plays really great defense, and they make you have to constantly swing and transition, swing, transition, swing, transition. And you've got to be really aggressive and strong with what you're doing offensively, and not commit a lot of unforced errors on that end, because they do play great defense. They're running their middles a little bit more than they did last year, so that's something new that we've got to make sure that we're watching. So we need to make sure that our middles are continuing to put up a good block there, but we expect a tough match from everybody this weekend.
And after these matches with Delaware and Towson, you'll be on the road again and take on Northeastern. Do you think this might be your toughest stretch in conference play?
It is, and then I think we got to start it all over again and go right back to them before we get to James Madison and William Mary. But I feel like everybody is going to be really tough in conference, and we really have to play point for point and not give things away, and really make sure we're tuned in for the whole match, because we expect that. And as long as we're expecting that and going there with that mentality of going point for point, we'll see what happens.
All right, Coach Hernandez, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
And thanks for tuning in, Hofstra fans, right here on GoHofstra.com.